Hello, everyone. Thanks for watching Awesome 10X. Today is Philippine Market Update. Let's begin. Okay, so let's take a look at my platform. We can see that the first highly traded volume today is all-day IPO, trading at a 50% up day. Your index is 784, but the majority of the stats and the trades have been mostly about the all-day IPO. So you're seeing that the top traded is actually all-day. Part of the top 10 and with a 50% up. Other than that, yes, we'll read as well the index movers. So let's go through the index movers for the day. Through the recap. SM Prime trading at 34.7, Ayala Land trading at 36.25. We're seeing actually properties go up third quarter report. BPI is trading at 91. Ayala Corp is 870. So today it's been highlighted with a lot of Ayala names going up for the day. BDO is trading at 126.6. Aboitiz Power is now trading near its 52-week highs for 34 bucks. Metro Bank trading near 50. Aboitiz Equity Ventures also near 52-week highs of 50 bucks. Jollibee now trading at 232, MPI 3.89, ICT 178, Converge 31.55, Pure Gold 43 bucks, Globe 3,154, Robinson's Land 17.48, GT Cap 550, Security Bank 121.9, Luciatan Group 10.3, AGI 10.86, URC 132.3, Robinson's Retail 63.7, San Miguel Corporation 117, Megaworld 315, ACEN 12.2, Meralco 286, Wilcon 29.7, PLDT 1634, GG Summit below 60 at 58, Bloomberry at 7, and SM at 1,000. So in general, we can see that the market is heavily bullish on Aboitiz Powers. So we'll take a look as well on those two charts, as well as the significant mover, of course. Let's go to the stats. Okay, significant most actives. Most active, okay. So you've got the banks like BPI, Ayalas going up, but it's actually near resistance. And the one that's most active that's being traded recently is actually the IPO of all day. So we said that all day seems to be going up because of we gave a buy call, thinking that it was a very low float. So there's definitely so yon. It's something the market is still heavily focused upon. You'll see that it could run up for about 1 to 2 days, another 2 days. I don't know. We'll see. But the banks are actually the heavy buyer for all day, the entire day. So all day heavy buyers on all day. Okay. Let's take a look on your movers, no. Okay. So let's just go through the strong names like Aboitiz Power in the Philippines. It up. And then while that's loading, let's also go through Ayala Land's earnings. Also here in the Edge, press release, you can read through this. Press release. Declaration of cash dividends. So let's go through the company disclosures here on the Edge. edge.psc.com.ph. Here we can see financial highlights. So on February, Ayala Land income was down to 8.5 billion, 8.7 billion. For the first 6 months, it was 6 billion. So it's a small recovery, but the company is showing significant improvements in a challenging time. Meanwhile, you could see that this one is clearly near 52-week highs. Aboitiz Power is trading at 34, 35 pesos. Market cap is now trading at 250 billion. So the sector on energy and basically energy is really very strong. This is in line with all the climate change happening in the world. No? So Climate Change Summit, view Investa chart. Wait, there's so many ads, no? Okay. Wait lang. Okay. It's loading. Let's go through the earnings report. Naglo-load. Okay, go. Okay, so the press release. Naglo-load din yung chart niyan. Wait. Let me try to change my connection here para faster. There, that's better. Okay, you can see the chart, no? All right, sige. So let's go through the charts here and read the news as well. Dito muna tayo. Let's read this news. Ayala Land's 9-month results. So disclosure. Market is positive on the results. That's why you can see all Ayala companies are up. So Ayala Land grew their income 35% on improving business operations, 8.5 billion pesos. You have seen revenues of 72.6 billion, up 15%. Net income is up 35%. Business operations continue to improve despite stricter quarantine restrictions. And the company actually boasts a 38% Q1Q. Same from the same quarter year on year. So sales reservations still grew to 70 billion, higher than the second quarter, but still a slight drop of 3% quarter on quarter. Business recovery was sustained. This is led by residential business, which is benefiting from stable construction and sales this year. Remain positive with the reopening of the economy, business activity, especially segments like malls, hotels, resorts, which have broadly relied on increased mobility. Also, we are seeing greenfield estates in Calamba, Laguna, Lanewood Hills, in Silang, Cavite. These 4 new projects were launched worth 13 billion pesos as of the third quarter. The company is responding to stronger demand in the residential market, so strong launches in the residential. Commercial leasing is still affected, which is 18% lower. However, mall occupancy rates are now little stable. Shopping centers declined 35%. With ongoing rental discounts. But revenue from office leasing still managed to grow 5% as business process outsourcing were steady throughout the period. Okay, so we're actually seeing that in general, Ayala Land seems to be able to weather the storm pretty well. Pretty fine, the reports are. So Ayala Land still has exceeded 12,000 hectares nationwide when it comes to total land bank. Continues to widen their reach through diversified offerings across 5 brands. And they've got warehousing, co-living, co-working, and listed companies A-REIT and All-HC. So, okay, so let's just take a look through these charts. This Ayala Land, you see that uptick because obviously the market is happy with the earnings results. So this is a higher low at 35 pesos. Next resistance at 38 for Ayala Land. Let's just take a look at the others. Ayala Land Logistics still hovering at 52-week highs. And AREIT actually trading at very strong 45 areas. I wouldn't chase any of these Ayala Land names. But obviously, you're seeing that the strength on Ayala Land is sustainable. Therefore, any dips of Ayala Land would have a buyer. So assuming that it falls now somewhere about below 35, assume that Ayala Land will get bought with a trajectory to hit 40. And then eventually, after maybe a few years, then Ayala Land hits near 52-week highs yet again. So it's going to take about 1 to 2 years before Ayala Land perhaps goes to 50 area. But you have to be on the lookout for Ayala Land recovering somewhere within the next 1 to 2 years. So 2023 to 2024, somewhere below the person buying at 36 could likely sell it at 52 somewhere in the next 1 to 2 years, no? So we do expect Ayala Land to recover quite well. Okay, so today let's just talk about, well, all day we already wala tayong masasabi here except that the IPO up 50% for the day. So very good for those who subscribe to the IPO. Congrats. And we'll see how it materializes. But generally speaking, I think this is the peg of most people, which is Mary Mart. And seeing how Mary Mart managed to go up from about 2 days, we'll see how high it goes. No, so we'll see. We'll have to wait it out how it manages to move if it's gonna follow the Mary Mart blueprint. Okay. Today the other news is so let's take a look on these news as well. Press release on CNPF and pizza. Let's just go through this. Century Pacific reports that net income growth accelerating in the third quarter, double-digit year-to-date growth for both top line and bottom line. Income is growing 22%, yielding a bottom line increase of 21%. They entered the pet food category and expanded the dairy portfolio. So we're seeing actually a very well-managed company for Century Pacific. So the 2 new brand innovations, it's now called Goodest. And dairy portfolio expansion to the chocolate segment is Choco Hero. And then they're also starting with their own Beyond Meat category, which is unmeat. This is a plant-based meat alternative category. All right, so it seems as if this one is being consolidated revenue still clocked in at 40 billion, a growth of 12% year on year. Third quarter sales gaining momentum. So very strong revenues for Century as resilient demand for consumer staples. We'll see. We'll take a look. Okay, CNPF. So positive earnings. So positive earnings allows it to trade near 52-week highs. Aboitiz Power also trading at 52-week highs. Just watch out for these resilient companies as these are poised to go strong, no? So Aboitiz Power, we saw a reversal from about 20. Can it go 40? We think yes. The answer is really it's going to be on the way up. Any dips would still be bought for Aboitiz Power. The closest dip recently was 30 bucks, and then we'll see how it goes up. But trajectory is going at least 36. 34 to 34 now, should still go 36. But I would be a little bit cautious buying on a 52-week high. Usually I would buy only on dips. So example, very strong run up, dip you buy, and then it goes up. Then you hold as high as it goes. Whether it hits 40, 41. Somewhere in the short term, you do have some resistance here at 40. So within the end of the year. So just take a look because usually year end is a very strong quarter for most issues that already have good 9 months, which Aboitiz Power already has no for the year. Same thing happening for Aboitiz Equity Ventures with super strong first half and likely great earnings for the next 2 quarters. You'll see a strong close for Aboitiz Equity Ventures for the end of the year. So any dips would still be bought. Possible end of the year, it could actually trade as high as 55. So for these two names, dips would still be bought. Yeah, and so you saw like very good numbers on these names. What else should we share? Cash dividend, and this is the preferred shares of Ayala Corp. So all day emergency press release ACEN. Let's take a look on this joint venture ACEN. Okay, let's read through this. November 2 says here that they are intending to co-own Nature's Renewable Energy. So a proposed 200 megawatt Lalo solar power project in Cagayan. So obviously the market is already very confident with ACEN. So most of these news are just consensus buys every dip. ACEN is building the Philippines' largest solar farm, and it's a secular winner, obviously. So the market is paying a premium on ACEN today. ACEN beginning construction of a 283 megawatt solar farm in Zambales, accelerating renewable growth in the country to 1,100 megawatts of installed capacity under construction. Significant commitment to a net zero world by 2050. Okay, so Zambales, this is obviously a positive thing happening to ACEN, which is translating to more joint ventures, more funding. Okay, it says here the San Marcelino solar farm will contribute significantly to ASEAN's goal of reaching 5,000 megawatts of renewable capacity by 2025 towards becoming the largest listed renewables platform in Southeast Asia. So ASEAN announced a commitment to limit global warming. Wow, these are great investments that ASEAN is doing. So those who are heavily holding their ASEAN, you've got a great company, so any dips would likely be bought. The lowest, perhaps, on this recent dip was 11 below here, 1083. We are seeing consolidation happen on ASEN, and then so far, this trend is still intact. We don't see this trend falling down anytime soon, and only the trend that will fall here is just a consolidation of profit taking. So not a reversal, but mostly just profit taking. Nonetheless, if you want to enter, try to wait below 11 if there's an entry point. So it's very difficult when you have a running move like this. So very steep already, but still minor resistances. We don't know if it's going to go 15, 16 end of the year with constant good news on ASEN. Okay, so very short report today. Not much to discuss in the Philippines. Let's just see if you have any comments. Okay, is it time for SSI to make a comeback with curfew being lifted? How are other countries doing with retail and COVID? Anything similar to the country? Actually, there's a very strong e-commerce sales that happened with a lot of companies like Krispy Kreme, and people are actually buying it up ahead of the earnings because it managed. I'll give you an example. No, in the US. Bed Bath and Beyond went up 80% after hours on news of an e-commerce play. Let me read to you that news. Bed Bath and Beyond news. This was 80% up. Says here, announcing bold moves to redefine their business model. This was up 80% in after hours trading. Some people are saying it's likely a short squeeze, but I think it has to do more with the business model. Let's read to this. The company is launching a digital marketplace, a refreshed team focused on new growth initiatives. Bed Bath and Beyond launched the place of building on the company's existing authority when it comes to home and baby categories. It's going to have a very seamless integration to a digital platform. Also, a curated selection of third-party brand partners. Bed Bath and Kroger announced a strategic collaboration, directly offering Kroger customers an extensive selection of the most sought-after goods for home and baby products. So actually, guys, Mark Tritton is a very highly regarded CEO. He is the CEO of Target before. Tama ba? Mark Tritton. So actually, the moment Mark Tritton went to being the CEO of Bed Bath and Beyond, the market was already very happy, no? Because he is really known for being a turnaround guy. So he has a very difficult job, but the market is very happy with him on this role. So let's take a look. Oh. So it's all about the management. Management has to be very confident in their e-commerce all-in territory. So not necessarily all-in, but 90 or 80% of their efforts have to be more into the e-commerce. So when you asked about the reopening, while reopening economy is always a good theme to discuss, the market is more happy to leverage the market positioning of most brands on the online. So I think like for SSI, the market will actually take a look at the strategy and execution. We've seen how their businesses was structured anyway, but we'll have to still define the sales if it's really working or not. So yeah, but this one, yun nga, some people talk about short squeeze, but I think this is all about e-commerce. Even for Krispy Kreme, let me show you the reports on Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme managed to do very well. Krispy Kreme earnings. So this one actually shot up. Look at that net revenue. This was for 2021, very strong growth. So very strong second quarter results. Same thing seen for Macy's. Let me show you the movements of retail in the U.S. Shopping malls like Macy's trading at about 40% higher 1 quarter ago. The market's bullish. If you're asking about retail, the answer is yes. But in the Philippines, I surmise that the reason why the market is not yet moving up on these names is likely just waiting for reports. But look at this. So this is Papa John's in the U.S. So ito yung mga very strong restaurants doing takeout delivery models. So pizza, Papa John's, you've got Domino's Pizza, DPZ, and Chipotle. These are the ones that are usually expected to do very well. The Philippines, I'd see how e-commerce is handled. So let's actually read. There's results naman here. Let's go through the results of pizza press release. Let's take a look at Shakey's on how they did well. Okay, so this has nothing to do with e-commerce. It's just their Milk Tree Drive, milk tea shop with the Kofu Group. What is the name of the brand? R&B Milk Tea brand. The first R&B store here. Milk tea is a growing food market, so they want to combat against Serenity and all these food platforms in the chains on the milk tea chain. I think it's good, but I don't know how huge the sales would be. Anyway, it's just a start for them. This is the first drive-through milk tea store. We'll see how it works. The first drive-through, Kofu Group. They are one of the largest operators and managers of food courts and coffee shops in Singapore. Let me see how the market reacted for this Shakey's discussion. Pizza. Market actually was not responding on the news. Very little volume. Nobody seems to be positive on Shakey's Pizza. But when you compare Shakey's Pizza versus the likes of Domino's Pizza abroad, you'll see that they've done well abroad. So I think the market in the Philippines is just waiting for results rather than speculating upon it. So that would be my answer for that question. wait for the reports. You don't need to speculate ahead. Have you taken a look on BPI chart already? Yeah, I haven't taken a look. And then may I know your take on keepers, Fu? We did an IPO. We did a keeper. Just go to Awesome 10X. We're positive on keeper holdings. Just go through the Awesome 10X YouTube. And then you find keeper. It's gonna be in our YouTube site. It's there in the YouTube channel. For BPI here about 91, I'd say that it is a temporary resistance. We're actually heading over to resistance points here, 91 to 95. So just like BDO trading at about 135 seems to have been deflected. I'd say that the banks in general also, while bullish, you have these resistances still, no? So 140, 135 proved to be resistance heavy here for BDO. So I would surmise even BPI at about 91 to 100 has resistances. That said, the market is very bullish, so you are not in a hurry to sell your BPIs. It could go as high as 95 before going down. So you just wait it out. Hello, thanks, Sir Eric, for watching from Bahrain. Is it okay to anticipate an uptrend involved with tourism? In general, yes, because airlines abroad, actually Airbnb has been anticipating strong recovery. Airbnb has already recovered in the US. I'd say that the Philippine tourism market will recover, but the market actually priced it in. So far, but the Philippine market is just a little bit slower than abroad, no. So far, you're seeing SEB rise already. These are the airlines. The first to recover are the tourist airlines, no. 36 to 46. You're seeing already SEB go up. Macro Asia go up, no, from 480 to 585, and here 420. Then take a look on the US, no. Look at the United Airlines rallied last 2 days. We're seeing Airbnb doing very well. Airbnb is reporting earnings this Thursday. So that would actually significantly do a V-shaped reversal, in my view, for Airbnb. Then, well, actually, if you want to make a bet on tourism, take a look on Disney. I'm heavily long on Disney calls while it's actually trading at 168, 169. Even dips at 160 would be a good buying opportunity. So I'm actually bullish on reopening names. How I implement it is through the US, Disney, DraftKings, Airbnbs. These are just one of the few ways to actually be bullish on the reopening theme. But I do believe in the global recovery. It might take a while. Sometimes it takes a while, but any dips would be always a buying spree for especially tourism stocks in the Philippines. Yeah. So for those who are holding Cebu Pacific, while you can see a resistance at 50, and I know some people are going to sell at 50 on Cebu Pacific, I do know that there's also a buyer, 41, 42. Every time it falls near 40s, there's always a buyer. I'm bullish on SoFi, but SoFi, we were bullish in about 13, 14 when Anthony Noto picked it up. But here at levels of 21, SoFi seems to be very topish here at 21. You might get some resistances here. So I think like at these levels of SoFi, you might take a breather. It's more of a profit taking already. Actually, 21, 22, these are the previous resistances. So here are our buy arrows, 13, 14 areas, even on the break of 17. Pero at these levels, I don't know, it could go higher, pero I'll be more cautious rather than bullish. Anyway, in the US, there's so many buying opportunities. I'd say take a look, to give you a quick look. Go back to our October 29 class. We talked about Facebook, betting on metaverse. Try to go take a look on all the metaverse plays we've got. Qualcomm reports earnings this week. Those are just some of the views that I have. Mara's doing very well. Mara's trading at all-time highs. That's, of course, due to crypto, very strong as well. For those who have Riot and Mara, or even Bitfarms and Hot Mining, you are actually in safe territory. As long as you're holding it, still a leader, no? Still trading at near all-time highs now. So you just hold on to it. As long as actually this was a buying opportunity here and then a buying opportunity in July, no? So those are only the buy calls for Mara. I'm very hard pressed to buy on an all-time high. If you have it, just keep it. But I don't think you want to buy on an all-time high. You just want to withhold the temptation of selling first. Thank you very much for watching, and then see you again. Tomorrow, we're going to discuss crypto updates. So we're going to talk about play to earn games and some cryptocurrencies, charts and stuff. So every Thursday is going to be crypto deep dives. And then every Friday is about global markets. So if this is your first time, please subscribe and take a like so that more people can subscribe and watch Awesome 10X videos. Thank you very much, guys. Salamat. Bye-bye.